So we are going to roll into our first boosty break. I am
You
going.
have 2 questions in queue here.
All right. I need to turn this off and turn this on. All
There
right.
we go.
So Steph's going to start opening boosties. I'm going to look at these questions.
Wonderful. And friends, we want to make sure, and you don't get to see my face today, you just get to see my hands opening these booster packs. But today, this stream is sponsored by Gerudo, and so this Boosty Break is brought to you by them. And we're just very grateful to be partnering with them. If you haven't given it a chance already, definitely try it out. They've released some new features lately, including a location privacy toggle. So if you sign up and you don't want people to know where you're from, you can toggle that on so it keeps you safe on there. And then also, they have a really great gameplay function that we got to try out last night. That was really fun. It has a bunch of really neat interactions with spectators. It has a spectator option to begin with, which is very cool. Really great camera clarity, really great audio clarity. Um, yeah, we're really looking forward to starting to use that more. So we hope that you give that a try. Anyway, we're going to open some boxes here. But Brad, do you want to dig into? We're going to open 3 packs here during this break. We'll open 3 packs per break. We'll have 4 breaks total during this whole stream.
Yep.
Yeah, but you want to go ahead and answer a question
I
or two
will. Looks like
before?
we have 3 right now.
Okay.
So the first one from Jose. Jose asks, even though channel does not use the stack, you must still wait for an action for it to occur, correct? So, uh, Jose, if you're referring to the channel ability, which um, channel is an activated ability. It it's an activated ability that you activate from your hand, but it is an activated ability. So you can take that ability anytime you have priority. Um, However, oh, you channel the spell. Ah, okay. So if you're referring to channel is so you are referring so like gosh, what's the card I'm thinking of? Uh Actually I'll just do uh okay, yeah, Beseiju. That's a great example. Yes, so Beseiju is an activated ability. Like the channel ability, as seen on cards like Beseiju, is an activated ability. They do use the stack. It's just an activated ability of a card you activate. You activate it from your hand rather than being activated from a permanent on the battlefield. But it does use the stack. You can activate it at any time you have priority, regardless of step or phase of the turn. Are you waiting on me to open packs?
I'll open a pack here, and then we'll get to another question. How about that?
Sure.
Does that sound good?
Yeah.
All right. Gotta be very careful in case we have a soul stone in here.
It's true.
All right, I need everybody to like do whatever the ba 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 dance with me so that I can open a soul stone. Okay. We have a cool token. And we'll get through some of these commons and uncommons. I will hold it up here so that you can see a little better. All right, so we got a venomized cat, amazing acrobatics, news helicopter, Spider Gwen, spectacular tactics, web warriors, Spider Girl legacy hero, flying octobot. This card is very good and limited.
Yeah.
I hate fighting against this thing. Um, wall crawl. We got a shiny mountain. All right, Brad, this can go in your Thantis
I
deck.
don't know. I gotta set that one aside for me.
Uh-huh. We have Lady Octopus, Inspired Inventor. I have never once cast this spell because it is not very good and limited. But maybe someday. All right, our first borderless card is Silk Web Weaver. This is not a foil, but it is a borderless alt art. We have Grasping Tentacles.
Oh, that's from like that like
That's from the box.
panorama, whatever.
Yeah, the panorama,
You put all the
whatever.
cards together and it makes a big picture.
Y'all, there are so many different arts for this set. I have no clue how to even process that. Silk Guard, here we
That's a
are.
magic card.
It is. It is a magic card. Also, I do like the art on this one. And yeah, love this. Not foil. And then we have, ooh, this is the origin of Spider-Man. It is a foil borderless saga. What do y'all think of the borderless sagas? I kind of like them.
They're fun. I feel like if I resonated more with the like source material, I would like them a lot more. But I like the idea of like it being
Yeah.
like a more visual representation of the fact that a saga is telling a story.
Yeah, I like that. Anyway, go ahead and answer answer the next question if you wouldn't mind, and then we can go to the next pack.
Okay. Next question comes from Light. Can you explain how affinity and treasure interact, such as casting Chiscoria with three treasures? So, absolutely. There's a whole process to casting spells and abilities that unfortunately we just don't have time to get into today, but I would love to do another judge talk about it because it's a lot more complicated than people think it is. But the short version for you is when you're casting a spell, the first one you decide how much mana, you calculate how much mana you have to pay uh before you activate mana abilities and before you pay the cost. So like when you're casting Chiscoria, you can check around, you can check the board state to see how many artifacts you have and then lock the total casting cost in, and then after that, you're allowed to activate mana abilities. So sacrificing treasures at that point will not affect how much mana you have to pay because you've already locked in the cost before you're activating those mana abilities. So the short version is you can sort of double count treasures for affinity for artifacts. You can count them as the cost reduction and also sacrifice them for mana if you want. All right, next boosty.
All right, yeah, we can do the next boosty. All right, friends, send me luck or wish me luck. I would very much like to open a Soulstone. We got an art card here for Chameleon, which we love. Okay,
Not a chameleon colossus.
not a Chameleon Colossus. All right, so we have Lurkin Lizards. I'm going to move this over. Lurkin Lizards. We've got Inner Demons Gangsters. We've got Mechanical Mobster, which I hear is actually a legendary creature. Like it should be a legendary creature. Like there is one of these dudes. Um, and there were some people who were sad that this was not a legendary creature. Flip. Rampaging Classmate.
It's they turned into a lizard.
Oh no. Terrific team up. Wraith. Vicious
That
Vigilante.
card's a house in limited.
It sure is. Double strike and can't be blocked in a set that does 1/1 counter bullcrap. Yeah, no. Mm-mm. Scarlet Spider. Spider-Man Noir. Yeah, I feel like this just looks really cool to me. We've opened this a couple of times now. Granted, I've not opened the foil, but I really like this borderless treatment specifically for this guy. We got a plains. This is not going in your Thanta stack,
Nope.
Brad. All right, the Ultimate Green Goblin. I lost to this a couple of times in limited. We like this card.
Yeah.
All right. This is our first rare. And then Bioorganic Carapace. I don't know if I'm saying that right. This is not borderless. It is extended art non-foil. Craven's Last Hunt. This is borderless non-foil. All right, we have Unexpected Windfall
Nice.
non-foil. And then we have an extended art foil Superior Spider-Man. Wonderful. Okay. You want to get to the last two questions there, Brad?
Um, we have three now.
Oh, do you?
Yes, we love this. Okay, so this one comes from Quinn. If I use Deathrite Shaman to pay for, let's say, Mana Tithe,
Mm-hmm.
can people respond to the activation even though we're kind of in the middle of the spell resolving? So the short version, Quinn, is no. And but a thing to know is that the ability on Deathrite Shaman that produces mana has to target a land in a graveyard. So Deathrite Shaman's that ability is not a mana ability. So if you wanted to use mana from Deathrite Shaman to pay for Mana Tithe, you would have to activate the Deathrite Shaman before Mana Tithe resolves. And so like someone could cast Mana Tithe targeting your spell, and then before it resolves, you could tap the Deathrite Shaman and exile target land to create to get a mana that you could then spend when Mana Tithe resolves, but you wouldn't be able to activate it during the middle of the resolution of Mana Tithe. And also that would mean that players could, if they had like a, I don't know, a stifle, could counter your ability to make mana if they wanted.
And then you want to answer just the last one real quick before I think the last one should be quick, right?
Um, we have two. So
Oh, you
I'll
do.
I'll do one more. You can
Yeah.
open a pack, and then
Oh,
I'll do
great.
the last one.
Yeah.
Okay. So Lofison says, so for an infinite, are they just impossible to stop in some cases? Like if you can reply with an instant, they can just respond to the instant with the activation again. Yes, the short answer is yes, right? So in a lot of cases, right, like if I have an infinite combo, I say I can tap a creature to make some amount of mana and spend less than that amount of mana to untap it. If I have extra, like if I say activate that ability to untap my creature, you could respond with a spell to destroy it, for example. But if
Mm-hmm.
I still have enough mana to activate that untap ability again, I can just untap it again in response and continue doing my combo on top of your spell just before it
Yeah.
resolves.
So a way that I usually think about it is if I try to interact at any point where they have less resources than they need to repeat the combo again if something were to fail, right?
Yeah.
And so if there's ever a point where, you know, if whatever they're doing means that if it doesn't work, then the next iteration of the combo can't happen. That's when I try to interact there. So yeah. All right.
All right.
Next Boosty, and then last question for this break.
Yep.
All right. I do think cutting a little slit in the booster pack was like a cheat code. I feel like I've unlocked the universe. Okay. We have Doc Ock here, friends. Let me get this in frame here. Doc Ock. We have oops. All right. We have Taxi Driver. We have Grow Extra Arms. We have Venom's Hunger. I had a pre-release deck that had 4 copies of that. It was wild. Subway Train, Silver Sable, Spider Suit, Tombstone, Spider-Man India. All right, we got our island. This also can't go in your
Oh
Thanos deck,
man,
Brad. I'm really sorry.
they're really hitting
This
the
should
two
go in your
basic
mono blue
buttons.
spiders deck, though.
Yes,
Yeah,
right
yeah.
when I get around to making that
Yeah. All
for
right. Our
sure.
first rare is Spider-Man 2099. This is from
So what is it, the welcome
the
decks?
welcome decks. Yeah. Yeah, we haven't gotten a welcome deck card yet. This is first for us, so very cool. We love this. Peter Parker's Camera. This is an extended non-foil. We got Mysterio House in limited. My
Yes.
goodness gracious, I love casting this card. This is extended art non-foil. Rest in peace. Did they print this one for the Assassin's Creed set? I feel like
I
they should
I
have,
feel
but
like they
they didn't.
probably should have. Admittedly, I don't know for sure,
Yeah,
but it would be a slam dunk.
yeah. Um, Morlun, Devourer of Spiders. This is extended art foil. Very nice. How is
Ooh.
Mysterio not a shapeshifter? That is a good question. That is a very good. Well, I don't think he actually ever changes shape, right? He doesn't actually change his physical properties, and he just makes you seem like makes it seem like he does. So I think illusion probably does work better there. All right, Brad. Last question, and then we can move on.
All right. Yes. So uh we have, if I have a creature that has tap to return target creature, that can be played at any time other than in combat. So that ability, unless the ability itself has a specific instructions about when you're allowed to activate it, you can activate it at any time you have priority. Um, so I'm gonna, well, no, hold on. So you can activate it anytime you have priority, and players do get priority during combat. We'll talk about when we get to turn structure. We'll talk about
Oh
specifically
yeah.
when players get priority, but it happens quite a lot. So things like instance and activated abilities, you have a lot of flexibility about when you can activate them. Right, and we have one more that's uh what are we looking forward to the rest of this weekend? We'll answer this one real quick because we're going to try to keep it focused on rules questions. But we do have a stream tomorrow that we're War of the Spark sealed.
Yeah,
So
10 p.m. Oh
we'll
yeah,
talk about
let's do
that
it.
also a little bit later. But for now, let's get into it.
All
I
right,
need
your face
to.
back.
Nice. All right.
He's been making faces at y'all this whole time. You haven't been able to see him. I'm sorry.
I've also been doing a lot of talking with my hands, despite the fact that you can't see my
Oh,
hands.